Welcome back, everybody. This is Fumble Puck with Ashley and Noah. This is our weekend one-timer as we set you up for a weekend of fun and hockey. How's it going, Ashley? What's up?
It's going okay. It's an interesting week. How about you?
I'm great. It was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, so I had a whole bunch of fun. And when I say a whole bunch of fun, I was not at a bar from 8 a.m. until closing time like I would have been in previous years. But I spent the day at home with the kids and Stacy, and we put on some fun Irish music and a little bit of American Irish music like the Dropkick Murphys. Which was great. And we danced around all day and were total idiots and had a great time. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, unconventional for St. Patrick's Day. I hope I don't have to do that again next year because it'll be the third St. Patrick's Day in a row, but you never know in these days. But it was fun. It was nice. It was a good change, and the kids looked cute in their St. Patrick's Day outfits, and they had a great time. So no complaining here.
That's awesome. I'm glad that it went well. I'm glad you had a fun day and that the kids got to partake in it for once.
Exactly. Like I said, no complaints here, but there are some complaints about the Montreal Canadiens.
I'm shocked. Whatever do you mean?
So everyone knows we had back-to-back games, Winnipeg twice. The first one was awesome, right? It was the Tyler Toffoli show. We'll start with that. Do you want to talk about Tyler Toffoli?
So I have a new hashtag. I know we're shocked. We're going to call it hashtag Holy Toffoli.
Holy Toffoli.
Yes. I like a lot of people in the hockey world, However, back when Tyler Toffoli was an LA King and a rookie, I remember saying to you, I would love to get him on the Habs.
I remember that.
And most people laughed at me and were like, yeah, okay. And now I have to say, I told you so. And it wasn't just because I like the Kings. It was because he's really good. And he's like a big lumbering power forward. Like, I don't really know how to explain his game.
I don't know if lumbering's the word I'd use to describe him.
But he's not fast, and he's kind of lumbering down the ice, no?
I feel like you have to be tall to lumber. I feel like Milan Lucic would lumber because he's like big and gangly, I don't know.
My mom said that about Milan Lucic too. She's like, I don't think he's like, I said, he's not really like Lucic in any way, but he's not small. I don't know how big he is. I'm checking. I think he's 6'2", 6
he's
feet.
6 or 6'1". I think, yeah, he's around 6 feet.
Okay, so he's not lumbering. So what's another good word? Hey, listeners, aka my mom and Stacy, any idea about what you would call him instead of lumbering? Would you say he's lurking down the ice?
Like perfectly average.
he's perfectly averaging down the ice. Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay, so
he's been a revelation. Like I feel like I watch a lot of hockey. I watch a lot of other teams play hockey too, and I've always known Tyler Toffoli was good at hockey. But like this is better than this is his best. This is a career year for him right now. Thank God.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll take it though.
Yeah, imagine we didn't. If we didn't, we'd have more games like the second game we played against Winnipeg, the overtime loss. Hey, overtime.
So I never missed a game, but I was actually on a phone call and I couldn't get off. And I got off for the third period. So I tweeted out saying, okay, I'm here. You're welcome, by the way, because look at the third period. That was like all I watched. So I saw the text from you and I got a phone call also about the goal scored in the first and second period that I missed. I saw it, but I wasn't really paying attention. So yeah. Oh God, yeah. No, I was honestly, I hate being on the phone during games. Like I usually put my phone on mute and just watch the game, of course, but I was on a very important call. I couldn't do that. And I was kind of grateful that I had the phone call because I was not happy going into the third at all.
It wasn't a lot of effort, right? Like it was a weird game to watch. It wasn't very exciting, but we got to overtime. We got a point out of it. Thank God for that. But we're hopeless in overtime. Like last year, we were losing a whole bunch of overtime and shootout games, and we kind of used that as an explanation for our place in the standings, finishing 24th. We were like, look, we're 24th in the league, but a lot of that's because we just lost a whole bunch of overtime and shootout games. That's so rare that it happens like that. It's got to be a one-off. Like next year, there's no way we're going to lose that many overtime games. And Jesus Christ, look at us right now.
I really don't get the deployment in overtime at all. Like at all. First of all, remember how Gallagher used to start with Byron and Petrie and they'd always score? You remember that?
Yeah.
It was great. And then I don't get the deployment this year at all. Shootout and overtime, don't get it. I think we have to just mention Corey Perry, by the way, and how
Yes.
Like how Corey Perry is just I actually called him Corey Sperry earlier today, which also works. But he's like, I understand. I saw today, someone's like, his $750,000 is such a steal. And then someone's like, yeah, he's also getting $6.6 million from Anaheim. And it's like, right. So he can buy us dinner anytime he wants. Okay, Corey? Anytime you want, we're there for dinner. We'll even
he can afford it. He's living comfortably right now.
But he's so good. Like his passes, they're never the passes that he makes and the goals that he scores, they're never accidental. You know what I mean? Like it's always because of a
very deliberate in how he acts. I totally get what you're saying. I totally agree. I think that's a great way to put it.
It's always deliberate. It's always like it's purposeful. It's like he knows. I mean, I know we've talked about him before, but I just can't get out. Like his pass to Foley was just unreal. Like he's amazing. Like I always liked him. Again, he's dirty, I know, but he's so good. Like his hands are just, geez. It's amazing.
So do you knowing his age and knowing that eventually time catches up to everybody, do you re-sign Corey Perry?
I would do 1-year deal. Why not? I mean, I wouldn't give him more than $1 million. He doesn't need it, let's be honest. But I would re-sign him. Would you not?
I don't know. I'm always worried with people at that age that they're going to fall off a cliff, right? Metaphorically speaking. And I'm concerned about him taking the roster spot of someone that you might want to have play. Like, what if Jesse Onin's ready by next year and you want that roster spot, right? That's tough. Like, you almost want to get Perry on a PTO and hope. But with the way he's performing right now, he's already tied, I think, his goal total from Dallas last year. If he's playing that well already, he's not going to be on a PTO next year. Someone will pay this guy money. So, it's a tough decision.
I think it probably depends also where he wants to be. Like if he pulled to Spezza and said, if you claim me off waivers, I'm not coming, then there's a good chance if he wants to stay with Montreal that he would sign with us for a cheaper deal, understanding there's cap implications and everything that's happening with the cap, right? So it's the cap more that scares me than the roster spot. Because we could always waive a player. We can always trade a player. It's not the end of the world. There's a few players I trade. Look, we have 3 openings coming up if Armia, Tatar, and Danault don't resign.
Sorry,
hold on.
It's very possible they might all go, right?
It's very possible. Then we have 3 openings, and Corey Perry is a better passer, let's say, than all 3 of those guys. So
also, I'm totally of the opinion. You mentioned the Jason Spezza waivers thing. I'm totally cool with that. I have no problem with a veteran player, like a 35-plus player, saying, don't you dare waive me to another team. I have no desire. I think they've paid their dues. I think they're allowed to make that call. I know there's rules regarding it, and they're allowed to be claimed, but it doesn't bother me at all that Spezza did that, and it wouldn't bother me if Corey Perry did it.
I would kind of hope that respect goes both ways, that they don't want to be claimed. And yeah, I do get that, and I do agree with you on that. I just think it's also a little bit of a gutsy move, let's say, or a ballsy move. But I get it. I understand. You're right. They have paid their dues. They played in the league for a very long time. So let them end where they want. I also don't really necessarily agree with waivers either. I mean, I get it. I get the point of them, but I don't think it's necessarily fair all the time, I guess.
What I like about waivers, what I think the intent of them is designed for, is to make sure that you don't have those fringe players who never get played and just sit on the bench. Like I look at Noah Juulsen as the example, right? I don't like what happened with him because we were hoping to get him into our lineup this year as a 7th D. Probably could have used him. He gets claimed by waivers from Florida, and you're like, oh, this is perfect. He's going to get a shot to play. Good for him. Happy for him. And he's barely playing there. So they just took the asset from us and they benched the assets. If they took Noah Juulsen and had him playing top 6 defense minutes and playing the actual game, I would say that's how the system's designed to work. But you hate seeing someone get claimed and then benched, right?
I 100%, I completely agree with you. And I think that it's very unfair. And they should have a rule. Like if you get benched for more than, in a waiver claim, let's say, 3 games in a row, you can go back to original team.
There's something to that. I have no clue how the mechanics would work out and how the Players Association would think about it. But I think there's something to that, right? For
sure. I don't think it was fair. I mean, and especially right now, we could really use them. So I completely agree with you. But
you know what we could also use?
What?
A 3-on-3 overtime game plan that makes sense. We could also use, which we're never going to get, an understanding of how Dom Ducharme's head works. The same for Claude Julien, because I don't understand why they make the decisions they make in overtime for 3-on-3. And you can tell by the way we play this game that our system's completely incompatible with 3-on-3. It's not designed to be a skill finesse speed kind of thing. It's a relentless forecheck attack. So I think we're our team has a roster construction or a flaw in its strategy that it will never be good at 3-on-3 overtime because they're playing basically a whole different way just for that 1 5-minute period.
Wait a second. We're not supposed to play defensive in overtime? No. Are you kidding me? Come on. That's the whole point.
Right?
You defend in overtime, right? That's what
I just want 3 forwards. I want KK, I want Suzuki, and then throw out like a Lehkonen or a Gallagher, someone who's a little bit defensive too, who can, skate a little bit. I just want to see some plays maybe.
I don't think we can throw on someone who's being benched all the time, can we?
I just don't think you can win in overtime with a team that relies on short, crisp passes, structure, and shot volume.
I agree. It's absurd, and his defensive players that he puts on. Like, I understand Petrie. I agree with Petrie. Byron and Deneau would not be my first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, probably around the 8th and 9th choice. If we're being honest.
And the only reason why I would say there's a potential spot for Phil Deneau out there is as a Fogo guy, right? Just like win a face-off and then get the hell off the ice.
But he doesn't do that.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I was watching last night and I'm like, they're literally cycling the puck. And I'm like, okay, go. Like, what do you just leave Petrie alone to cycle with Price? I don't care what you do. Get off the ice. Like, let Suzuki, KK, anybody come on the ice. Why?
Well, you should make one of your 3. So like 2 of your 3, like if Deneau's one of the other 2 should be either Suzuki or Kotkaniemi to be the other center. So they take over the center responsibility as Deneau's getting off the ice, kind of, right? Agreed. And then Deneau gets off the ice and the winger pops on to support. And that way you've already got your center on the ice right from the get-go,
And you can cherry pick up to when Deneau gets off. You cherry pick the pass up there, and there you go. I mean, I could figure this out. I don't even know what I'm talking about, and I just figured out the plan. It's not hard.
Speaking of cherry picking, one day, not today, but one day we're going to talk about how I wish offsides didn't exist at all, and I'd have no problem planting someone in front of the net and just long bombing it down to them.
Me too. I think that would be a wonderful, especially in overtime. Maybe we'd actually score.
Right?
Or honestly, how about if on penalty shots you were allowed to like crash the net and like crash the goalie?
Wait, like Chris Kreider him?
Exactly, but like Brendan Gallagher can do it, and then maybe he'd finally score on one, right? That's what he said. Like, anyways, wasn't impressed. So it's all good. I even tweeted when it went to overtime. I wrote, "Oh, well, I know the loss is coming, so okay then."
So not an impressive game, certainly not an impressive end to the game, but if we're looking to be impressed, we have 2 games coming up against Vancouver. Isn't that the best way for the Habs to be impressive, playing the Canucks?
It is. We've been doing pretty well against them this year, and we have the Canucks assassin, I guess, with Tyler Toffoli. So he's due because the last 2 games against them, he didn't score a goal, which was very upsetting. And like, come on, Toffoli, it's enough, I mean, you can't just score against every other team now and not the Canucks. What's up with that? So Demko,
he's not done making them pay.
No, he's not. But Demko's, what were they thinking? Oh my God. But Demko's on fire. They've won their last 3 games. Demko was so good. When Demko's hot, he's hot. And he's just been on a roll. Little bit nervous just because we're not playing wonderfully. However, the Canucks are really not very good. So we should be able to handle them. And it's a back-to-back, so...
Yeah, they're really bad, and I know like Vancouver fans are really passionate, so I don't think they'll care that I say this, but Jim Benning's a terrible GM. Like, he sucks. He really sucks.
I think they agree with you on that. I don't think
right. Thomas Drance from The Athletic has been dragging the Canucks organization for the past couple of weeks. It's been quite fun to watch. If you've got The Athletic, like, check out his work. It's hilarious. Because there's like this air of just complete like throw in the towel, give up. Like it's pretty funny. They're terrible. Like, so Demko has a .920 save percentage on the season, which is a really strong number. But goals against, they're one of the last teams in the league. They're like 8th worst. They're bottom 10 for goals against, which means that when he's not playing, when it's Holtby, like pucks are going in, right? So if we see Demko both games, it'll be a challenge for sure.
What's interesting, though, is I've always been a Holtby fan. I like Holtby a lot from his Caps days. So you look at the team in front of him on the Capitals and how good he was and how dominant he was. And then you look at the team in front of him on the Canucks, and then you start to feel really bad for Carey Price. because look at the talent that like Pittsburgh has. I'm gonna puke while saying this, but even Toronto has, Edmonton, even the Capitals, like any of those really good, heavy forward scoring teams. And then you have a goalie like clearly Braden Hope is a good goalie, but he's not as elite as you may have thought due to the team that played in front of him. And then you have Carey Price, who's been stuck with mediocrity, and it's like, you got to feel bad for Carey, right? Am I wrong on this?
Yes, but we're also at the stage now where he's at his age. At what point do you stop feeling bad for him and just kind of, like, hey, man, you signed the deal. You're paid to deliver the goods, right? I think like 5 years ago, I felt really bad for Carey Price. I don't know if I feel bad anymore. I just want it to work out, whatever workout is, right?
Right, but I still feel like it's not his fault. It's the GM who has to get the talent. It's not Carey Price. He can tell the GM every day, look, I want whoever and whatever. It's up to the GM to make it happen. Yes, he did sign the deal. Would you leave $80-90 million on the table? I personally would.
I would not. I would take the money and run.
Me too. So that's what he's doing. You can't blame him. And if anybody ever wants to give me and or you that kind of money, we're here for it. But
so if he takes the money and runs like he did, for me, that's kind of like the ticket to say I no longer feel bad because you're making a ton of money. So like, how bad could it possibly be, buddy? Like this, you need to be part of that solution, right? So I don't feel bad for Carey Price. I do want him to win a Stanley Cup in Montreal because I'm a total Habs homer and I think it would be the best thing in the world. But, I want to see, I just think we're constantly in that middle ground, right? Like we're like the Nashville Predator, Minnesota Wild of the East, where we're always like last playoff spot kind of. So until you do a full tank, it's kind of hard to even get there, right? Like how many Stanley Cup winners don't have a first or second overall pick in their roster? I think the Blues are the only one that didn't have, right?
Right. I just find it sad that he's going to possibly waste his career here without ever really getting a true chance, I guess. But I understand the money. I understand where he's coming from. I think you can't expect a goalie. I've been saying this for years. You got to build your team. You can't expect the goalie to win every single game for you. And that's what you've been doing for so long here is if Price stands on his head, we'll be fine. It shouldn't be up to Price or one player to stand on their head every single game, night in and night out. That's not realistic. It's not fair. You need a supporting cast. And that to me is the biggest issue with this whole management is, I guess, given he's done better this year, he got some talented players, but we still don't have that game breaker. And we need game breakers, plural. We need that. We need that to succeed and get to the next level, in my opinion. That's just what I think. But anyway.
I wonder, so like, knock on wood and hope it never happens, but let's say Carey Price finishes his career without a Stanley Cup. That's the worst thing ever. I can't believe I said that out loud, but what if,
Right.
He's got to be in that conversation for like one of the best players to never win a cup, right? Like he's got to be up there. He's got a Hart trophy, like he's got Olympic golds. Like there's a lot of accolades to him, and that one that's very elusive, like it's up there with Joe Thornton, right? Like it's got to be.
Who better not win a cup this year? But yes,
Joe
I agree
Thornton,
with you.
Yeah, no way. I love Joe Thornton. I hope he doesn't win a Stanley Cup ever now. Like, oh my God, every day that goes by, my love for him dries a little bit more. And
he can next year. Man. If he's off the Leafs, he can next year. But I agree with you. But you know what? I was looking at like how he's top 4, how Carey Price is top 4 in save percentage of the 700 game club.
Yeah, I saw that stat. That was cool.
So, but think about it again. The goalies on that list all had elite talent in front of them. And that's my point. It was Fleury, Luongo, forget the next one. But like
Hank was on that list.
I love Hank. How could I forget about Hank? But that's exactly it. But look at the elite. Well, Hank didn't really have necessarily elite talent, but I'm sure at some point he did. He played forever. But the other,
he had Rick Nash with him. Rick Nash,
yes.
Baby.
So, your favorite. But that's exactly it. Look at the talent. Like Luongo had the Sedins for like years, and then you look at Fleury, who had Crosby and Malkin. Like, which is funny.
Yeah.
Murray, who mostly got them the cup, but whatever. And then you have Hank, who I'm sure had better scoring forwards and stuff than us. So
they had Nash, they had St. Louis, they had Brad Richards there for that little bit. They had Dan Boyle doing well at that point. He was older, but fine. They had the McDonough-Girardi pair back when Girardi wasn't terrible at hockey. Dan Girardi, assistant coach of the Buffalo Sabres now. Wild.
Is he really? That's so funny.
Yeah, he's part of the new coaching staff. Ridiculous.
That's hilarious. But I'm just saying but look at the teams in front of them. And then you have to admire Carey Price all that much more because of who was playing in front of him. Like we had PK, okay? He had Weber. Okay. But who was our David Darnay? He's going to be our top line center. Like, come on. Like, you can't compare our team to their team at any point of Carey Price's career, for being honest. So
No, absolutely not.
I give Price a lot of credit for that because I really think he's an elite goalie given the talent. I think he's probably definitely the best goalie in the game right now. Don't come at me, all you Vasilevsky fans. I agree, Vasilevsky's amazing, but I'm just saying, look at their talents compared to ours. That's what you have to do, is compare.
Throwing a grenade into the room, Maria.
Sorry, what?
Throwing a grenade into the room, Maria.
I think Vasilevsky is amazing. I also think he's probably is up there with Price as the best goalie in the world. However, look at their talent without Kucherov, and then look at our talent and tell me how we're anywhere near the same page, because we're not.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got we've still got time, though. Carey Price still has 17 years left on his contract, so who knows what happens in the next 17,000 years. A lot of the teams you mentioned as we were talking about goaltending pop up on our must-watch games for this weekend. So I feel like that's a perfect segue to hop into. So Friday, important game to watch, the New York Rangers versus the Washington Capitals. For the only reason, did you see the New York Philly game yesterday? We're filming this. We're recording this Thursday night. Yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. It was the game. Did you see that game?
I did not see it. I heard about it, though, multiple times. And the whole coaching staff for the New York Rangers had COVID, which is, I mean, not had COVID, we're in the COVID protocol. And they won 9-0.
That is exactly the reason to watch, to see what happens to this team in game 2. Imagine your coach, David Quinn, is already embattled. You know, people are starting to question, is he the guy to bring this team to the next level with this elite talent they've drafted? He's already on the hot seat. Him and his entire staff get removed from the game, and then the Rangers put up the best game they've played in 20 years without their coach. Like, that is so awkward. The drama and storylines around this issue are going to be so amazing. I feel like you just got to watch the Rangers for the next couple of games and see what happens. Like, if they have another strong game or two while the coaching staff is in protocol, oh my God, people are going to freak out. It'll be so fun to watch.
Well, if they're anything like us, they won't score for about a week and a half. So we'll see.
Hope not. Next up Saturday, you got the Columbus Blue Jackets versus Carolina. The reason why that game is important is, for me, that kind of looks like in that division as a breaking point. The Jackets are a few points out of a playoff spot. There's some space between them and the last team in a playoff spot, which is the Blackhawks, I believe. If Columbus loses that game again because they're struggling, you have to think that them and the teams below them seriously consider trading, dropping down in the standings for a chance to retool for next season. How much money do they want to invest in a season where they're just not able to bust through in that division, right? It's a tough division. So I think that game is fun to watch because Carolina is also looking like a powerhouse, right? So you'll get some entertainment value from it. You'll get to see Max Domi, and you'll get to see what happens with the Columbus Blue Jackets, how close they are to being a buyer or seller.
I heard today that they have 4 games to turn it around, or else they're going to be sellers, but I don't know how that was. I think Pierre LeBrun had it on The Athletic today.
That sounds right. We're getting close, right?
Yep.
And then Sunday, the game to watch is Florida versus Tampa. I can't believe I'm saying this, but that might be a battle for first place in the NHL, and the Florida Panthers are in that conversation. Oh, my God.
I love Quenneville.
It's crazy what he's done in a year with that roster and the turnaround. Super cool to see. And I hope the Florida Panthers beat the crap out of the Tampa Bay Lightning, because I hate the Lightning. And the Florida Panthers, you always kind of root for them as the underdog. I also like that we own their building when we're there, so it's good.
They miss our revenue.
All right, we're rounding it out here. I want to hear your hot take for the week.
My hot take for the week. I think it's going to be Tyler Toffoli is going to score 6 goals this week.
That is spicy.
6.
I don't think I'm going to take that bet. I think I'll take the under.
I take the under too, but hey, I said we're going to make a trade last week, and I was completely off. So
I'm fine. If your hot takes are swinging for the fence every time, I love that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, why not? What's your hot take of the week?
The Habs will win their next overtime game. You heard it here first. I'm calling it only because of statistical probability.
How many drinks did you have before recording this that you think that's a possibility?
Absolutely 0. I had a glass of milk, actually.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Do you have a cookie with it?
I did not have a cookie. I'm not a sweets person. I don't normally have like candy and cookies and stuff. It's a rare treat for me to do that. So no, just the milk.
Okay. Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I don't think you're drinking anything. Just an overtime game? Really? We're going to win one?
Yeah, but that's a hot take. We always want to talk about the dumb take that's popping up and starting to pop up that you really need to avoid. It's the trade Cole Caufield debate. Do not trade Cole Caufield right now. The only way you trade Cole Caufield is if he's in like a Jack Eichel trade, which, let's be real, we're not doing that. That's not the time to talk about it. But Cole Caufield, just by virtue of his upside as a goal scorer, you cannot lose that asset. He has the potential to be the one thing that our team is missing, that lethal weapon, that person who should be out on the ice on a 3-on-3 overtime, right?
Oh, good idea.
Right?
Defense
So,
too? I'm not aware.
no way in hell. No way in hell. You don't trade Cole Caufield unless it's a complete blockbuster that will instantly vault our team to number one in the standings, which won't happen. So do not trade Cole Caufield. Trade anybody else if the deal's right. Don't trade the person who you believe could score 40 goals. That's nuts.
I completely agree with you, and I better not see any of those because that's just ludicrous. But we have a new topic and a new little segment for you guys today, and it's going to be kind of like our neon knee-jerk reaction, but this time it's Noah's neon knee-jerk reaction. So you ready, Noah?
I'm so excited for this.
I hope you are. All right, we're working on the name, but for right now, it's going to be called #hunting. You good?
I'm good.
All right, the first hashtag, I want your immediate response on this, okay? #holy to fully.
I love it. He's awesome. He's off the charts. I have a hard time believing that he is going to keep up this pace, but we've been wrong about him all season so far. He's got 18 goals. He's tied for second in the league. Yeah, if there's anything that was statistically improbable to maintain, it's that. But hey, ride the wave while it's there. Have fun. Holy to fully. I like it.
And he's tied with like McDavid. Like, like not a slouch here, you know? Not a slouch. Crazy. All right, the next one. Ready for this one?
I am.
#FreeLex.
Oh, man. You know how much I love Lehkonen. I'm a huge fan. I think whenever I hear his name now, I think back to Bergevin talking about Lars Eller. And it was like, and Lehkonen's the same way. There are players that get you to the playoffs and players that get you through. Lehkonen's a player that gets you through. I know people are talking about trading him because he's not playing enough right now. I just think that's an asset you hold on to for the playoffs because you know you're going to need a guy like that. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I don't understand the benching him all the time. I don't like the press box. I don't get it. He's our best forechecker when it comes to anything shorthanded or anything like defensively. What are you doing? Like, we need him. Take out Armia, take out Byron. Why are
you notice our penalty kills dropped since he stopped playing?
Well, yeah, because he's like the best on it. So what are they doing? Like,
so annoying.
Whose cereal did he pee in? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's very weird. All right, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
#fire Bergevin.
Yeah, at the end of this season, that'll be a conversation if we miss the playoffs. Absolutely. I am in the camp where I'm not passionately attached to Marc Bergevin. I like his last couple of years, but I like the process. I don't like the result. At some point, I need to see results. His job is to deliver that to me as a fan. His job is to provide the system that entertains me. You know, I think we're going to have to talk about it at some point in time. How many years of being a GM do you need in order to not win anything like David Poile?
I agree. I think it's very close to the end. And
you know what? There's a part to that too that I think is important to talk about because David Poile, at least he's built an incredible brand that the Nashville Predators got to ride and like their Stanley Cup finals. Like he really turned that into a hockey city. Bergevin is not building the brand of the Canadiens. He's just stewarding an already strong brand. You could argue maybe he's even eroding it by not having success, right? So you might say that David Poile is better than him right now because he's gotten further and built his brand better. And I don't know.
David Poile also isn't afraid to do the big moves. Not that Bergevin is afraid of it, but David Poile goes out and swings for the fences all the time.
I love it.
I love it too, and I wish Bergevin would do it more. Like no offense to Kotkaniemi and Suzuki, who I really like a lot. I like both of them a lot. But we need a bona fide number one center and not a 20 and 21-year-old. I mean, we do. We need that too. But Suzuki is regressing like crazy right now. Kotkaniemi's been good. But, like, we need somebody to – if we can't have a number one center who's elite, we need to have a number one winger or number one, defenseman who's not 50 years old. We need elite talent. And, again, Poile goes out. Yeah, Duchesne didn't really work out for them so well. But he still went out and acquired him, you know?
Yep, and we can reasonably expect some teams right now to start throwing in the towel, like unofficially, but throwing in the towel on their season. There might be an opportunity for a trade. We have a bunch of players finishing their college seasons. Like Caufield's coming on. Like I said, don't trade him. But, Jordan Harris is having a great time. Like, you have to evaluate, is what Jordan Harris brings to the organization right now as valuable as a trade chip to get something bigger, right? I think you got to do something. Like, I still think you got to do something. I'm not patient enough to just let the process work itself out because we're too close to missing a playoff spot right now. I'm not comfortable, especially if we lose back-to-back against Vancouver. God forbid, like knocking on wood there. But if Vancouver takes 2 games in a row against us, we're scared.
They're going to catch up to us. We're already 4 points behind Edmonton.
Yep.
But you know what's interesting? Speaking of defensive and everything, Kulak when he's playing with Petrie versus Kulak when he's playing with anybody else.
Right?
Yeah. It's amazing, the confidence he has and the way he plays. And I said it 2 weeks ago or last week, put Kulak back with Petrie, and look what happened.
I'm telling you should make the Lions.
Why aren't I coach? Why aren't I coaching this team? Because really, I have no idea what I'm talking about, but yet I still get things right and it works. So put me in, coach. That should have been our podcast name, by the way, is Put Me In, Coach.
I'm okay with that. Did we just find our title?
No, I was going to do hashtag holy to Foley, but we can do Put Me In, Coach.
Yeah, all right.
Whatever, we can do a hashtag Put Me In, Coach. That's fine.
Love
but we use holy to Foley when he gets his hat trick against Vancouver this weekend.
Whoop, whoop.
I hope so. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's time to start doing some trades. Let's get a bona fide star here and see what we can do. It's enough of this signing old people and no.
Going for the fences, let's go for it, Marc Bergevin, because we don't want to be talking about hashtag fire Bergevin at the end of the season.
I agree. Let's see
awesome.
What happens.
What else we need? I think that's a wrap, right? I think we've kind of gone around the entire league.
Yep, I think so too.
That's awesome.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media handles at FumblePuckPod. We are on all the big podcast stations as far as I know. If we're not, please let us know. Although there's not much we can do about it, but we will find a way to do it. You just let us know, please. If you have any questions, any concerns, any opinions, anything, please at FumblePuckPod.
Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. Hope you enjoy watching the Habs. Hope you enjoy the games coming up. And we'll be talking to you early next week. Cheers.